Blog Talk Radio.
What up, everybody? This is CT Radio with Nick Gill. I'm your host, Nick Gilliard, and this is my first NFL show, first ever, so we're making history. But I only have a half hour, so I'm jumping right into it. First, we had an NFC South battle with Falcons versus Panthers. Falcons taking the Panthers down 25-7. Not really much to talk about here. New coach, Raheem Morris. They fired the old coach. They needed a change. They played hard for him, got the W. Next up, Vikings-Packers. And a lot of you, like myself, probably thought this game was going to be a blowout, but it turned out to be the other way around, with the Vikings edging out the Packers 28-22. Cook, they had no answer for Dalvin Cook. He rushed for 163 yards and 3 touchdowns. And obviously, we talk about this all the time, Aaron Rodgers needs more weapons on the outside. Yeah, he has one good wide receiver, but other than that, he has Devontae Adams, but other than that, he really doesn't have much help. Get him some help there over there in Green Bay. We'll see what happens. Tough loss, though, for the Packers. Next up, we have the Titans and the Bengals. Obviously, this is an upset. Bengals taking out the Titans 31-20. Joe Burrow continues to impress me. Continues to impress everyone. We're talking 26 for 37, 249 yards, and 2 touchdowns, no picks. Pretty good day at the office. Jets, Chiefs, everybody pretty much figured how this game was going to go. Never much in doubt. Chiefs 35, Jets 9. Jets need to get rid of their coach at the end of the year. It's just as simple as that. They need a whole makeover, a whole rebuild, and it's obvious. Next, we got the Colts versus the Lions. Now, this one's interesting. The Lions, they're still on the fringe. They have a chance to build on their record. They had a chance to do something here, get in the win column. They're not totally out of it yet, but I think this was a huge, huge game for them. But the Colts defense is tough, and Phillip Rivers is doing what he got to do. Colts win 41-21. Next up, the matchup of the week, the big game of the week, Steelers-Ravens. Pretty much what you expected. Knockdown, drag-out game, very physical. Steelers edge out the Ravens 28-24. And Lamar Jackson, he has all the physical tools. He does not, though, have the accuracy in the passing yards and the passing accuracy you would like to see from a quarterback who was just the former MVP last year. So a little bit of regression there. Next up, Dolphins-Rams. Wasn't sure about this game. If I had to bet on it, I had said the Rams were going to win this game. But the Dolphins continue to impress. They play tough. They play hard for their coach. Wouldn't count them out just yet. Obviously, they played Tunga Bailoa. He was his first start. Not impressive numbers. None that's going to blow you away. The Dolphins defense did much of the work. Although he went 12 for 22, 93 yards, touchdowns, no picks. Not bad. Smart line of defense and let the rookie take his lumps. Next up, Patriots-Bills. You know how this one goes. Usually it's the Patriots and on the winning side and the Bills on the losing side. Not this time, though. Bills pull it out, 24-21. And obviously you see a changing in the guard there because the Patriots are not the team they used to be. They're rebuilding there over there. Bill Belichick has some work to do. The Bills look like they're a legit team, and they're gonna take that division. Next, AFC battle, Raiders-Browns. This was a toss-up for me. This could have went either way. Browns playing at home, very bad weather, so I figured that it would go the Browns' way, but I was wrong. Raiders take this one 16-6. Raiders don't look bad, playing pretty good under John Gruden. Chargers, Broncos. This was a close game. Came down to a controversial call at the end. Broncos got a second chance to pull it out because of a call that happened down there at the last seconds of the game. So Broncos pulled out 31-30. Chargers. I thought they would play better. I thought they would be better this year. They weren't. I think they need. Tell you the truth, I'm not really sure what they need. I look at them and they have all the weapons they need. They have a couple injuries on defense. I think once their defensive backfield gets whole again, they'll be where they need to be. Broncos playing hard. We'll see what comes. We'll see what happens at the end of the year, second half of the year. We'll see what happens in the AFC there. Next up, heartbreaker for me, Saints Bears. I'm sure you all see what happened. And look, we're going to discuss this a little bit, right? Javon Wims, wide receiver for Chicago Bears. Little weird play. Something happens a couple plays earlier. He sits on it, goes to the sidelines, comes back out. If it was my guess, he was waiting for an opportunity to where nobody was going to be able to get into the middle of him and the corner there. Sorry, I'm losing out on the quarterback's name. Sorry, that just left me there. I'm not sure what his name was again. But anyway, walks up to him, hits him with a two-piece. Now, as you all know, whoever play football, you can't. Hitting a helmet is not the smartest thing in the world. Helmets are hard, So probably not the smartest thing, but I mean, this is not gonna sound like anyone else probably wanted to sound, but I don't mind the fight. I mind that he cost his team, and I mind that he's stupid enough to hit somebody in the helmet, but he had a problem with something he did to his teammate, and he had a problem with something that the cornerback personally. Yeah, usually you see a guy immediately react, but he wanted to make sure he got his hits in. So he made sure nobody was there, nobody was gonna hold him back. And I guess if you're gonna fight, that's the way you do it. Too many times you got a lot of guys saying, "Don't hold me back, don't hold me back," and nobody's doing nothing. Everybody's holding each other back, and nobody really want to fight. So that was interesting. That was an interesting thing there, but it cost the team. But overall, the Bears, they're up and down. They're all over the place. I don't know if Foles is the future of the Bears. Obviously, they need to draft somebody next year, get somebody else in there, or get somebody through trade or free agency. Saints wound up topping the Bears 26-23. Next up, NFC West matchup. 49ers, Seahawks. Now, before I get into the score, 49ers, I got to give them some props. I got to give them some credit. They've been decimated with injuries. I mean, absolutely decimated. It's a game of attrition, and the 49ers have been losing that battle. And still, they were still 500, and they were still battling. Obviously, when you come up with against the Seahawks that are playing lights out, even though their defense isn't where it needs to be, they're still playing lights out. 49ers even lost Garoppolo for the year. After he tried to come back and play, they lost him for the year in that game. So, tough year for the 49ers, losing Bosa. Kittle's out for the year. So it's, I think they're going to get Richard Sherman back at some point. But, I mean, at this point, they're fighting hard. But at this point, it's not where it needs to be, and it's tough because of all the injuries. Seahawks do the usual thing. Obviously DK Metcalf is an absolute monster. He's got to be something to behold. He could break all the records. He has the talent and the physical tools to be a GOAT at the wide receiver position. That's right, I said a GOAT at the wide receiver position. It could happen. Seahawks over the 49ers, 37-27. Cowboys, Eagles. I'm not sure about this game. We're gonna go. Actually, you know what? We're gonna get back to this game. We'll get back to it. I'll go over this game. I want to get to the Buccaneers-Giants game, and I want to get to that game because again, another controversial play at the end. Was it pass interference or was it not? What you guys think? I think it was a good no call. I mean, it was bang bang. It was like literally simultaneous. I don't have the advantage of all the angles that I need to see, but just going off what I've seen, it was a good no call because the refs obviously don't want to get in the way of that. They don't want to be the reason why a team loses or whether a team wins. But the Buccaneers, they have a real shot. And remember, the Buccaneers could host the Super Bowl this year. The Super Bowl is in Tampa Bay this year. Imagine that. I don't even think that's ever happened. I don't ever think that a team has ever hosted the Super Bowl. I know damn sure they never won it, hosted the Super Bowl. I have to look into that. I'm not sure. But the Giants, I give it to the Giants too, like the 49ers. Not quite the record, but the Giants are playing hard. They're also decimated by injuries. Obviously, no Saquon Barkley. They're really decimated by injuries. In the third quarter, Danny Dimes was throwing dimes. He made huge mistakes that ultimately obviously cost the team. And I think he has potential. Those throws that I've seen in that third quarter were literally pinpoint passes, standing from the pocket, making plays. I think that's why they brought him in here. They knew he could do things like that. They wanted to see more of him out of there. Obviously, you want to see less turnovers. You want to get rid of the turnovers. But overall, he'll be okay. He'll get the turnovers down. When he has a running game, that'll help, and he'll be all right. Cowboys, Eagles. Now, the Eagles, as we know, the NFC, this division, the NFC East division, is a mess. It's a mess. It's one of those things where a team could actually win a division with a losing record. Like it's the Cowboys look terrible. They've obviously quit on their team. They obviously quit on their coach. I think the Cowboys, from top to bottom, need a whole change in attitude. They need a whole change in their philosophy. They need an identity. Obviously, Cowboys' offensive line is hurt, so that doesn't help the situation. Dak goes down, that doesn't help the situation. But overall, the attitude. And Jerry Jones really, really, really needs to try to get some of the onus on the team off him and put it on somebody else. Put the responsibilities onto somebody else and play the backfield and stop trying to, get into everything and try to oversee everything. And he's just too involved in everything that goes on with the Cowboys. He needs to put smart people in there who know how to run his business and take a step back. So, that's just a mess. And the Eagles take the Cowboys out 23-9. Wasn't really much of a contest. Now, I'm going to go over my top 5 teams in what I call Nick G's Power Rankings. And these are the top 5 teams in the NFL based on what I've saw up to Week 8. All right? We're going to start with number 5. And I'm going to have to go Tennessee Titans. This was a tough one. This was a toss-up between the Buffalo Bills and the Tennessee Titans. I wasn't sure which one I should put in there, but I'm going off of what I've seen last year in the playoffs and with the Tennessee Titans and how really there was no letdown. And they obviously have a really good coach and a really good base there. So, obviously, they got Derrick Henry, who's a machine. So, after a tough loss to the Bengals, they're obviously going to be in a foul mood. Obviously, they don't want to pick that up and move forward. And so I got Tennessee Titans, number 5. Number 4, Tampa Bay. Now, this was really, I had them in this spot for most of the year as the 4th best team. Obviously, this week, they're getting Antonio Brown. He's practicing. He's ready to go. They already got Evans. They already got Godwin. They already got Gronk. So, and they got a good host of running backs too to support that. So you got Tom Brady, 43 years old, and obviously Father Time is not caught up to Tom Terrific. So in that divorce between Belichick and Tom, obviously Tom Brady won that one. I mean, he's the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time. I feel like at any position. The reason why I say that is because the quarterback affects the game the most out of all positions in football, and it's the toughest position to play. So Tom Brady is the GOAT. Antonio Brown's back. They got a good defense. They got a great young secondary. I got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 4. Seattle Seahawks, I got them at 3. One-loss team, Russell Wilson, MVP candidate. DK Metcalf, I mentioned before, absolute beast. Defense is not great, not nothing to write home about, but they get Jamal Adams back. He's been a guy who's also been a blitzer and been able to put pressure on the quarterback, just like a defensive lineman would. So he can play the back and he can put pressure on the quarterback. It'll be huge. It's a good welcome back for the Seahawks. As soon as he gets on the field, you'll see an improvement on defense. They're only going to get better. Number 2, I got the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously a prolific offense. Obviously, they got Patrick Mahomes, an MVP winner, MVP candidate every year. He's going to be one of the best that's ever done it. They're boasting a number 1 ranked offense in NFL. The thing with Kansas City is it's very hard because they put you in a predicament where if you just play zone and you give Patrick Mahomes the ability to just sit back there, he'll find holes. He'll have Kelsey sitting down in the holes in man coverage, and he'll find them. They'll find them all day. Or you got receivers doing crossing routes. They'll sit down in the coverage, and he'll find them. If you play man, his receivers are fast enough to blow by you. Any blocking at all, if he has any time at all, he's going to sail it over your head for 6. So, or he's going to hit the receivers on crossing routes, or he's going to hit Kelsey on flag routes, post routes. It'd just be open season. So, and also if you blitz them, if you don't get there immediately, that's also going to be a problem, and that's why they're the number 1 ranked offense in the NFL. Now, my number 1 defense. My number 2 ranked defense by the number 1 team in the NFL is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like I said, they're posting the number ranked 2 defense, number 1 against the run. And I'm going to tell you why this is my number 1 team. They're undefeated, haven't lost a game. Have any of you noticed Ben Roethlisberger has not even hit his stride yet? Ben Roethlisberger has not even played his best football. Think about that. He hasn't even played his best football yet. As soon as he gets on the roll, just look out for the Pittsburgh. You already know that they're well coached. You already know that. You already know they're going to fight. You already know they got a good defense. You already know they got a good group of receivers. Claypool came out of nowhere. He looks like an absolute monster as well. So I think Juju Smith-Schuster is a little overrated. You've seen what happened when they took Antonio Brown away. He kind of went downhill a little bit. I don't think he was the receiver that everyone else thought he was in that year that Antonio Brown, in that year where he won the team MVP over Antonio Brown that year before Antonio Brown got shipped off. But the Steelers have a great team. They have a great all-around team. And like I said, once Roethlisberger, Big Ben picks it up, the Steelers are going to be a real, real tough out. I got them at number 1. Again, my list is open for scrutiny. Other people probably have different lists for one reason or another, and that's fine. This is purely from what I see on Sunday. It's one of those things where, everybody sees things a little differently, but if you really break it down, you can see what's happening. You can see that Ben Roethlisberger is still not playing particularly well, but they're still undefeated, and you can see why the Steelers could be number 1. Now, for the last little bit, I'd like to go over next week's picks. So let's go to next week's picks. Let's see what we got here. Next week we have Packers 49ers, Thursday night football. This is a tough one. I think the Packers are definitely going to be fired up for this game because of the last two meetings the 49ers had with the Packers. It wasn't even close. The 49ers blew out the Packers both times. I think Aaron Rodgers will be motivated. I think with all the injuries and things going on with the 49ers, I think the Packers blow them out. Not even close. Texans, Jaguars, this is a you pick 'em toss-up. They're both not very good teams. If I had to go with one, for pride, I go with the Texans. They have a lot of pride there. I think they take that one. Next game, Giants, Washington. This is a rivalry. This is an NFC East rivalry. They always play each other tough. Another toss-up. Two teams that are not very good. I'm going to go with the Giants in this one. Ravens, Colts. This tough matchup. This could potentially be the game of the week. I'm actually going to go with the Colts on this one. The reason why, the Colts have a lot of fast linebackers. I think they can keep up with Lamar Jackson or at least try to contain him. And I think they'll be able to – I think they won't be able to stop Phillip Rivers' passing game. And I take the Colts in this one over the Ravens. Real close game, though. Lions, Vikings. Now, again, this is also a toss-up. Both teams are playing hard, but after what I seen from the Vikings last week against the Green Bay Packers, I give the Vikings a slight edge in this one. Bears, Titans. I usually don't like to pick on the game that's my team, so you know what? I'm not going to begin this week. So we're going to skip that one. Panthers, Chiefs. Going with the Chiefs. This game is going to be closer than people think it's going to be, and I'm going to go with the Chiefs in this one. Too much offense, too much pass from Mahomes, too much everything else. Seahawks, Bills. This could also be potentially the game of the week. Seahawks are playing good. Bills came off a loss there. So actually, excuse me. Bills come off a win against the Patriots. So both teams coming off a win. Tough one. It's going to be in Buffalo. It's going to be cold there. So you know what? I'm going to give the edge to Buffalo on this one. I think weather plays a factor. Broncos, Falcons. Broncos are playing good as of late. Falcons are playing for their coach. They're playing pretty good. Like I said, for Raheem Morris. But I think the Broncos are playing a little bit better ball. I go with the Broncos. Raiders, Chargers. Tough one. I'm going to go with the Raiders. I actually think the Raiders make the playoffs this year. Cardinals, Dolphins. Two battles of two young quarterbacks. Tua's probably going to want to show improve his skills and his skill set there, playing against another young cornerback there in Arizona. But I still give the edge to Arizona. They're just a better overall team. So I'm going to give the edge to Arizona. Cowboys, Steelers, no contest, blowout. Steelers win this one pretty easily. I don't see a problem there. Saints, Buccaneers, rematch from week 1. Tom Brady's going to prove that he's the better, older quarterback. He's the elder statesman. He's the one. He's the GOAT. So I think that Buccaneers squeeze this one out. Very close game. This could also be the game of the week. Keep your eye on that one. Patriots, Jets. We all know the Jets ain't much of a team. Neither are the Patriots, though. So, but the Jets have not shown anything this year. Patriots have some talent. So just off that and Bill Belichick, I'm going with the Patriots. He usually owns the Jets. So we're gonna go with the Patriots on that one. And that's my weekly picks for NFL Week 9. And so far so good. It's been a good half of football. You're gonna see a couple teams getting healthy, a couple teams that have gotten worse. We just got to see what happens and let the rest of the year play out. Obviously, with the election, there's a lot of things going on, a lot of anxiety, a lot of unknown. Just keep pushing forward. Everyone out there that wants to see change, it doesn't end at the election. You got to keep demanding change. Got to keep doing the right thing. But football will be football. It'll be there. I believe we finished the season. It's going to be a hell of a half of the year coming up. And it's going to be a lot of people fighting for that last playoff spot. and it's going to be a race. It's going to be a tough race. Like I said, teams got to get healthy. The trade deadline has came, so all the moves have been made. Depth charts have been set. Teams are ready to go for this next grind to the Super Bowl and the playoffs. So, once again, thank you all for listening to CT Radio with Nick Gill. I'll see y'all next week. Peace.